My name is Kanish Sinha. I'm one of the trainers and executive coaches at Stillwater, along with Avantika Sinha and Girish Manimaran. The three of us. Leadership effectiveness is really about how do you show up with credibility so that people really listen to what you have to say. They give you greater opportunities, both professionally and personally. You have credibility when you speak because it's you speaking, right? And the second part is effectiveness, which is producing the outcomes in your life that you want, both professionally again and in your personal life. So that's what the program is about. It covers areas like decision making, communication skills, reaction to external events, getting clear on what you want in life, what your purpose is, about self-awareness tools, problem solving. These are the kind of soft skills we'll be looking at in our program. In this program, what we're going to be looking at are 5 sessions once a week. Each session is about 3.5 hours, and you have about 1 hour pre-work before each session. So you cover the theory in the pre-work, you watch some videos. So for example, if you were doing something on communication skills, how do you give feedback to people? How do you say no without breaking the relationship? How do you hold people accountable when they've broken a commitment to you? These are sort of theoretical best practices that you'll understand. Answer some reflection questions so that when you come in for the live sessions, we can really have a conversation about how to apply that. And there's no lecture or theory or download in the actual live sessions. It's very experiential, very interactive. Clarity is the first session, let me say. And what we're looking at in clarity is what do you really want in your life? So rather than going through life as I'm supposed to, I should, I have to, I must, I need to, I'm unable to, I'll try, I'll do my best. Instead of all that, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to go about it. This is when I'm going to do it. These are the prices that are going to be involved. And this is why I'm willing to do it. This is why it's important. So when you leave the clarity session, ideally you should be a place where you're really saying, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. That is the decisiveness you want to leave with when you leave clarity rather than, I should, I'm supposed to. The second session is honesty. And honesty is when we talk about honesty, it's not about lying to people or not. It's about looking at the situation honestly, having an honest look, saying, this is what I'm happy about, this is what I'm not happy about, this is what's working, this is what's not working. So your biases and beliefs don't have you overreact or panic in a situation or underreact and become complacent. You're looking at the situation as it is, looking at feedback and other people's perceptions without overreacting and reacting, looking at the results neutrally, listening to your emotions, not getting swept away, nor suppressing your emotions, looking at the results in a neutral way so you can make great decisions about what's required. Honesty is also about honesty with others, so not just about honesty with yourself. But when you communicate, does the fear of not being liked or not being respected or fear of ridicule or making a mistake create a mask or uncertainty or tentativeness or arrogance? So there's people really don't get who you are at the deepest level, right? And so honesty is about breaking through those barriers and really expressing what you think, what you feel, what you want, what you don't want, so that people get where you're coming from. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the honesty session. Every session has a lot of feedback. So after every single exercise, you will get feedback on your thought process, how it's landing on people. So you really need to be, brave. You need to be vulnerable, sharing what's important to you. You need to be open to other people's perspectives. You need to be willing to give them the benefit of doubt when you're getting feedback that, pokes a little bit, that they're really coming from a good place. It's not a theoretical download program. It's really very interactive. It's quite challenging. It's not a leadership spa where you sit down and say, oh, do me. It's more of a leadership gym where you will need to put in intellectual rigor. You need to be emotionally brave with your approach to these exercises. In ownership, the third session, we're really looking at when things don't go your way, how much do you beat yourself? How much do you flagellate yourself? Because ownership is not about saying, I should have, I could have, if I had done this. It's none of that. It's about saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I've learned from that situation. This is what I want. So these are the pros and cons. This is what I'm going to do. It's moving to an action-oriented, problem-solving, solution-focused mindset rather than feeling stressed out or pressured, etc. Right? So that is what we're going to be looking at, different areas where you feel like, hey, there's nothing I can do, and really looking at what are the choices, what are the pros and cons. Ownership, we're also going to start looking at your impact on other people. So some people say, how can I take ownership when, my outcome is dependent on what other people are doing or not doing? So in ownership, you're also going to do an influencing exercise where you will get feedback saying, when you try to influence people, you're too aggressive or too passive or too analytical or too emotional. So you get a sense of, why are people responding to me the way that they are? You're also going to do a 360 feedback, anonymous feedback. You'll send it out to your stakeholders. You'll get the inputs of that before the next session, which is win-win, right? And so in win-win, after you've gotten all that feedback, we're really going to discuss how are you impacting people? How are they interpreting you? What are the perceptions that are being created? What are the impact it's having on relationships? What are the stakeholder relationships that you want to change, both professionally and personally? How do you want them to be? What do those relationships look like if they're perfect? And what are the skills that you would need to develop in order to get those relationships exactly where you want them? So that's part of the conversation. We're also going to do a lot of role plays, acting out different situations from your workplace, personal life, brainstorming about different approaches to having those conversations. We bring in a lot of the work that we used to do in when we were professors for 8 years at the Indian School of Business, teaching our communications course. So how do you say no? How do you give feedback? A lot of that we'll be looking at in this course. The commitment session is about what gets in the way. So if one of the formulas we use is commitment is equal to result. If you're committed, you will produce the outcome. So if you did not produce the outcome you wanted, there was something that you did not do that was required. So why didn't you do it? What was the barrier, the mental barrier that got in the way of you doing what was required? And usually this has something to do with our sense of self, our identity. This is the sort of person I am. This is the sort of person I'm not. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can't do. So I'm an introvert, so I can't be a good sales leader, etc., etc. So we really have you understand what is your leadership style. There's a psychometric assessment you do as part of the pre-work. Where does that style work? Where does it not work? And how can you flex your style so you can be effective in a wider range of situations without compromising on your values or authentic self? So that's what we're going to be looking at in commitment. And also we're going to see really what do you want to create in your life. So build a vision statement, build on that, write a mail to yourself saying, this is what I'm going to do in the next few months. You have an app where you can track your goals and progress and habits and stuff. And 3 months later, you will get an email saying, hey, this is what you said you would do. How are you progressing on that, right? Personally, when I did a similar program when I was 25, it was honestly the greatest investment of my life, both in terms of time and money. So I would strongly recommend that you jump into it. I would love to see you guys there. We get our best friends from this program, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know you. I'd love to see you there and see you on the tracks. Take care. Bye.